Hello everyone, welcome to the Python language class. Today we'll go through Module 1, Introduction to Python. What we learned from this course: Introduction to Python, Python overview, and basic Python code. Before I move on, what is Python? Python is a computer language. Now we will see how Python is introduced and what are its features. Introduction to Python. Python is a general purpose, interpreted, interactive, object oriented, and high level programming language. It was created by Udo van Rossum during 1985 to 1990. Python is an open source coding language. Python 3.0 was released in 2008. Currently, Python 3.5.1 and 3.9.1 is widely used. Python is designed to be highly readable. It uses English keywords frequently, whereas the other languages use punctuations. It has fewer syntactical construction than other language. For example, in Java, we use colon at the end of the line. Here, we don't need to do that. Python is interpreted. What does that mean? Python is processed at runtime by the interpreter. You do not need to compile your program before executing it. This is similar to Perl and PHP. Let's have a look at the picture in right side. Here you see, uh, if you write a code in C language, hello C, after writing the code, it will go to compiler, who will then convert it to machine code. And then finally this machine code will be run by the machine and we will see the result as hello. Now, if we run this hello in Python, then there is no compiler. This complete code will be interpreted and the result will be shown as hello. Now, if we talk about big programs, the time for compiling them and converting them to machine language is being saved by using Python. Python is dynamically typed. We don't have to declare the type of variable while assigning a value to a variable in Python. Python is object oriented. What is object orientation? Uh, I hope some of you already know what is object orientation. If not, we'll have a separate session for that. In this session, we'll just go through the basics of the OOPS concept, object oriented programming system. Object means a real world entity. So it's a pen, chair, table, computer, watch, etc. For example, pen is a watch. Now, what is a class? A class is a group of objects which have common properties. It's a template or blueprint from which objects are created. It is a logical entity. It cannot be physical. Now, think it like this. An object is an instance of a class. Inheritance. Inheritance, inheritance is a mechanism in which the object requires all the properties and behaviors of a parent object. It is also known as parent-child relationship. Polymorphism. Polymorphism is a concept by which we can perform a single action in different ways. Real life example of polymorphism: a person at the same time can have different characteristics. Like a man at the same time is a father, a husband, an employee. So the same person possesses different behavior in different situations. This is called polymorphism. Abstraction. Data abstraction is the property by virtue of which only the essential details are displayed to the user. The trivial or the non-essentials units are not displayed to the user. For example, a car is viewed as a car rather than and its individual components. Will not call a car a group of steering wheels and engine. It's a car as an item or object. Encapsulation. Encapsulation is defined as the wrapping up of data under a single unit. It is the mechanism that binds together code and the data it manipulates. Other way to think about encapsulation is it is a protective shield that prevents the data from being accessed by the code outside this shield. Moving to the Python properties, Python is highly portable. That means you can use it in Windows, Macintosh, or even in Raspberry. In any of this operating system, you can use it. Python features. Easy to learn. Python has very few keywords, simple structure, and a clearly defined syntax. This allows a student to pick up the language quickly. Easy to read. Python code is more clearly defined and visible to the eyes. A broad standard library. Python's bulk of the library is very portable and cross-platform compatible on Unix, Windows, and Macintosh. Interactive mode. Python has support for an interactive mode, which allows interactive testing and debugging of snippets of code. Extendable. You can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter. These modules enable programmers to add to or customize their tools to be more efficient. Databases. Python provides interfaces to all major commercial databases. GUI programming. Python supports GUI applications that can be created and ported to many systems, calls, libraries, and Windows systems, such as Windows MFC, Macintosh, and the X Windows system of Unix. Scalable. Python provides a better structure and support for large programs than shell scripting. Basic Python code. You can understand Python without even knowing it. If you don't believe it out, check this out. Guess what it does? Print hello world. We'll try this in a compiler. I have typed this already. I'll run it. So you have guessed it correct. It will print hello world. So it is that simple. You just give the instruction to print hello world and it will print. Basic Python code. Now we'll try a bit harder code. Count equal to 0. While count less than 5, print count equal to count plus 1. Let's try this in compiler. So count equal to 0. Count is a variable which is defined as 0. While count is less than 5, we're running a loop here. We'll come in later point of in the modules and describe detail about the loops. Just understand that while is a kind of loop that tells you until count's value is less than 5, you keep running the next lines of the codes. Then print count, count equal to count plus 1. That means increase the value of count plus 1. Now we'll run this code. So first it is printing 0 because it is checking if 0 is less than 5. Yes, go and print count. Then count value is increasing by 1 plus 1. It is becoming 1. Just checking if is count less than 5. Yes. So it is again printing 1. Like this, it is going for 2, 3, 4. Now after this count become 5 and it checks is count less than 5? No. And it comes out of the loop. So here the loop is not or the code is not our main motive. Please try to understand how simple reading the Python code is. It is just like the English statements that you read and you understand what it is doing. This marks end of module 1, Introduction to Python.